Hello, folks. Back with ancient cosmology. And, here's a hand tattoo, which probably shows, or undoubtedly shows cosmology. People had body tattoos to memorize the stars and geography. Tattooed hand belongs to an elite woman, Chansey culture. So that's, Peru. Peru. I don't know what that means. But yeah. So that's a Peruvian one, and these are some in Siberia, I think. So similar type of things. Cool swirly patterns and stuff. See, these are this is Hispaniola in the Egyptian avatar as Ammit, the god. I believe Ammit is a goddess. I don't know, but anyway, Ammit, and then a Mayan deity, which is probably basically the same deity. Like, my guess is that Ammit is this deity, because the Egyptians, they clearly had a lot of contact with the Mayans, based on the heavy Egyptian influence on Mayan culture. So, it tended to be when you are building up and, collecting geographic myths to memorize geography, both physical maps and mental, mythical maps, mythical stories and songs and rituals to memorize the geography, you tend to try to take from the people that actually live there a lot of the time. So it would be natural that the Egyptians would come here and then they would take this avatar from the Mayans that are right next to Hispaniola. Or this could even be an avatar from Hispaniola itself that made its way to the Mayans. But you can see how, all the avatars of Hispaniola tend to focus on this peninsula. And so it's always going to be some animal with long long arms and short legs or something like that. But yeah, this one's pretty specific. It has you could say it's more realist than a lot of these other ones that are a little more esoteric. But it seems to include this seamount area, this, let's see, I think it's called the Gulf of the Dead or something like that there, or the Bay of the Dead or something. It seems to be included as this kind of non-colored part of it. And, it really has this kind of elbow here, and even has this little peninsula that comes off there, I guess that would be. And yeah, and then the head may actually include some of the seamounts around here. It might include Gonave. Tortuga might be this thing on the top. So, but yeah. Not sure how ancient this one is. I'm sure a lot of these are pretty goddamn ancient, like, going back to the Ice Age or earlier. So this is the Egyptian Hierakonpolis Tomb 100 map of Hispaniola, where it seems to have it connected to Just as in the later Egyptian map of the Book of Two Ways, it seems to attach it to Puerto Rico. But in this case, it seems to also attach it to not only the Virgin Islands, but all these Leeward Islands here and seamounts and whatnot. So I think this is like the horse's ass, and then, you know, these things are probably mostly like this, and then these things are all these weird thingies in there. And so this is similar to the Gobekli Tepe avatar in that it views Hispaniola as headless, basically. It views like this little peninsula here as like a neck without a head, you could say. Or basically, you know, that here's an arm, but there's no head above the arm. So in the Gobekli one, and actually this is the case also in the Book of Two Ways, because the Book of Two Ways takes Inagua as its head, just as Gobekli does. So Inagua is actually, might be visible right there, I don't know, but it's basically right there. And so similar to this, like this, it just doesn't have a head, whereas this, it has a head. This and the Gobekli and the Book of Two Ways one do have a head. It's just a separate island, but it's similar in the sense that Hispaniola itself doesn't have, you know, a head as part of it. And I think it's kind of similar to the Book of Two Ways one. Like I said, the Book of Two Ways one seems to include Puerto Rico as part of the body, and then it kind of trails off the page, so it may be taken to kind of include or lead to all this other stuff. You know, this is, of course, the Gobekli Tepe one. So yeah, again, there's no head. Like this is a headless body, just kind of like in the Hierakonpolis one. But the head is the separate island of Inagua. And now I'm pretty sure, the more I look at this, the more I'm pretty sure that these seamounts, you know, this kind of underwater shape, together with Gonave here, are the upper arm here, or wing, or whatever you want to call it. And so, you know, it may kind of be that on the bottom part, this shape is this here, whereas on the top, even though here it's directly above, but in the, you know, adaptability of magic, you can just fiddle things around. So it could be, as long as you convey it to whoever you're trying to tell this to, that this shape here could actually be this shape right here. Matches pretty well. And then it's hard to know exactly how far these are seen to go. I mean, of course, this was made during the Ice Age, so there was probably more land and less water. The sea level was 400 feet lower. So all of this actually, like this, may have actually been dry land. Hard to really know, or at the very least, closer to being dry land. So whether this is part of it or not is a question. You know, it could be that even this is still part of the still part of this upper arm. and then the head just comes out of like here or something. Hard to be totally sure on that. I think it potentially does actually show, even though it doesn't make the neck as wide as it is, it does give it the weird Adam's apple that like birds don't actually have unless their head is in agua. And it may kind of show these bays in here somewhat because there's a few different inlets going in here, and there are some kind of lines that go up. Like this could be imply one of them, maybe this line right here. So yeah. And then I think that this little thing here is I forget what it's called, the lake or whatnot in here on the other side of Port-au-Prince. The capital of Haiti is right here. So that could be kind of showing Port-au-Prince right there. And it might even show, it shows this kind of line on the outside of the beak. So that's probably, there's like a long like sandbar along the coast here. So you can actually sail like straight into it and along it. It's just this like sandbar that just, sits along the coast there. Then this is, Hispaniola and Inagua and the Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands in the Egyptian Book of Two Ways. So here we have Inagua again as the head, but this time this part is the ears, with the bay going through, separating the two ears. And then maybe this, what was the Adam's apple for the Gobekli one, is now the neck for this one. And then its head kind of like goes up and down a bit. So that's like this. So, that kind of works. And again, like this just kind of trails off here. This is something that's mentioned by Egyptologists, that it could actually be meant to continue further. So if it does, then it could kind of be meant that its tail just kind of turns into the whole Leeward Islands that goes all the way down to South America. At the very least, it leads to the Leeward Islands, which will lead to South America. So again, a lot of these avatars, they always focus on this peninsula, like in this case, it's the Ice Age, so they also focus on what's going on up here. But they certainly do focus on this, and the little kind of pointy butt with the little like tail or whatever there. So here again, there's this arm which is representing that, and then just smaller arms and legs that are everything else. I'm not sure how many legs he has here. One of these might be his dick or something.